Right now, as we speak, history is being made in the Middle East. The conflict between Iran and Israel has reached unprecedented levels in 2025. Iran launched direct military strikes. America retaliated by hitting Iran's key facilities, forcing both nations into an uneasy ceasefire. But here's what most people don't realize. The ripple effects of this conflict aren't just happening thousands of miles away. They're happening right here, in America. What brought hundreds of thousands of Iranians to this country? And what are they thinking right now as their homeland burns? Here's what blew my mind when I started digging into this story. This isn't just an immigration story. This is a story of revolution, exile, dreams, and heartbreak all playing out in one of America's most iconic cities. The entertainment capital of the world, home to nearly 4 million people, and one of the most culturally diverse cities on the planet. But if you walk down Westwood Boulevard, you'll discover a different side of LA entirely. Persian script adorns storefronts. The aroma of saffron and rosewater fills the air. Traditional Iranian music drifts from shops. There's even an official Persian square designated by the city. This area is home to an estimated 500,000 to 800,000 Iranian Americans, the largest Iranian population outside of Iran itself. But here's the thing that might surprise you. Most of these people didn't come to America by choice. They were forced to flee their homeland, often with nothing but the clothes on their backs. The question is, what happened that was so catastrophic that it forced hundreds of thousands of people to abandon everything they knew and start over on the other side of the world? Picture Iran in the 1970s. Not the Iran you see in today's headlines, but a thoroughly modern, Western-aligned nation. Tehran looked like any major European city. Women wore Western clothes, attended universities, and worked in professional careers. Iran was America's closest ally in the Middle East. Thousands of Iranian students were studying at American universities. UCLA alone had thousands of Iranian students in the 1970s. These weren't refugees. They were the children of Iran's elite, sent to America to get the best education money could buy, before returning home to help build their country. Then 1979 happened. The Islamic Revolution swept across Iran like wildfire. The Shah, Iran's monarch and America's ally, was overthrown. Ayatollah Khomeini established an Islamic Republic. Overnight, everything these Iranian students and their families believed in became illegal, dangerous, or both. Secular Iranians, supporters of the old monarchy, religious minorities, intellectuals, anyone who didn't fit the new regime's vision found themselves in mortal danger. They faced a choice: stay and risk persecution, imprisonment, or worse, or leave everything behind and flee. Most chose to flee, and they came here to Los Angeles. To understand why this exodus was so traumatic, you need to understand just how close Iran and America once were. In 1953, the CIA helped overthrow Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh and restored the Shah to power. For the next 25 years, Iran was America's most important ally in the Middle East. Iranian oil funded rapid modernization. American companies built highways, universities, and modern cities across Iran. Iranian students flocked to American universities, especially in California. Los Angeles was particularly attractive to Iranian families. The Mediterranean climate felt like home. The educational opportunities were world-class. The entertainment industry's presence meant the city was relatively tolerant of different cultures. It was the perfect place for Iran's westernized elite to send their children. But when the revolution came, these students suddenly found themselves stranded. Overnight, they went from being citizens of America's closest Middle Eastern ally to being nationals of a country that had just declared America the Great Satan. The Iran hostage crisis of 1979 where Iranian revolutionaries held 52 Americans captive for 444 days, sealed the deal. Iran and America became enemies. There was no going back. As the revolution tightened its grip on Iran, waves of refugees began arriving in Los Angeles. These weren't economic migrants seeking better opportunities. These were people fleeing for their lives. Among them was 18-year-old Reza Pahlavi, the crown prince of Iran and heir to the Peacock throne. He arrived in America expecting a temporary exile, perhaps a few months until things calmed down. That was 45 years ago. He's still here, now an American citizen living in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. But why Los Angeles specifically? Why not New York or Miami or anywhere else? First, the climate. LA's dry, sunny weather reminded Iranians of home. Second, the existing network. By 1979, LA already had thousands of Iranian students and professionals who could help newcomers navigate American life. Third, the job market. Many Iranian refugees were doctors, engineers, and entrepreneurs, and LA's booming economy had opportunities for skilled professionals. The Iran-Iraq War from 1980 to 1988 brought even more refugees. Young Iranian men fled to avoid being drafted into a brutal conflict that would claim over 1 million lives. Families escaped the terror of missile attacks on Iranian cities. By the mid-1980s, Westwood Boulevard was transforming. Persian restaurants opened next to American diners. Iranian bookstores sold poetry and literature banned back home. Music stores played the traditional Iranian songs that were now illegal in the Islamic Republic. A little Tehran was born in the heart of Los Angeles. Today, Westwood Boulevard is completely transformed. In 2010, the city of Los Angeles officially designated the area Persian Square, a recognition of the Iranian American community's contributions to the city. But this isn't a community stuck in the past. Second and third generation Iranian Americans have grown up fully American, while maintaining their Persian heritage. They speak fluent English and Farsi, navigate both cultures effortlessly, and have achieved remarkable success in their adopted homeland. Iranian Americans have one of the highest average incomes of any ethnic group in America. They're no longer refugees or exiles. They're Angelenos. But the story doesn't end with successful assimilation. In September 2022, 22-year-old Mahsa Amini died in police custody in Iran for allegedly violating hijab rules. Her death sparked the largest protests in Iran since the 1979 revolution, and something unprecedented happened in Los Angeles. Tens of thousands of Iranian Americans took to the streets in some of the largest Iran-related demonstrations in the city's history. They chanted "Woman, Life, Freedom" in both English and Farsi. What was remarkable was seeing 3 generations of Iranian Americans united in protest. First-generation refugees who had fled the Islamic Republic stood shoulder to shoulder with their American-born grandchildren, who had never set foot in Iran but still felt connected to their ancestral homeland. Reza Pahlavi, now in his 60s, issued statements supporting the protesters. The entertainment industry's Iranian Americans used their platforms to amplify the voices of protesters back in Iran. Even now, in 2025, as conflict rages between Iran and Israel, the Iranian American community finds itself in a complex position. They oppose the Islamic Republic, but don't necessarily support American military intervention. They support the Iranian people while condemning the Iranian government. Many carry signs reading, "We support the Iranian people, not the Iranian regime." It's a nuanced position that reflects the complicated reality of diaspora life. Loving your homeland while opposing its government? So what can we learn from Tehrangeles? 45 years ago, Iranian revolutionaries forced hundreds of thousands of their countrymen into exile. Those exiles came to Los Angeles and built something remarkable, a thriving community that preserves Persian culture while embracing American values. The 2022 protests showed the world something powerful. Diaspora voices can sometimes be louder than those in the homeland. Free from government repression, Iranian Americans could speak truths that Iranians back home could only whisper. History has a way of repeating itself. The current conflict in the Middle East will eventually end. And when it does, when they do, what will LA's Iranian diaspora look like then? Maybe the answer lies in what they've built here, this Tehrangeles. It's about remembering the past while moving toward the future. It shows us that having two identities isn't a weakness, it's actually a superpower. What would you do? If you had to leave your homeland behind, how would you preserve your identity in a new place? Today, we dove deep into the hidden story of the Iranian diaspora, right here in the heart of LA. We explored how a history of exile that began with the 1979 revolution has become woven into the fabric of American society. 45 years later, and the complex emotions these communities still carry for their homeland. But here's the thing, this isn't just an Iranian story. This is a universal human story about immigration, identity, and adaptation that you can find anywhere in the world. And as we speak in 2025, conflicts are still raging across the Middle East. New diasporas might be forming as we watch. Will history repeat itself? If this story moved you, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I've got more fascinating untold stories coming your way in the next episode. And drop your thoughts in the comments below. What does diaspora mean to you? And what can we learn from these communities? If you haven't seen our incredible Chicago story yet, click this video. These unbelievable hidden stories will expand your perspective on travel forever.